Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
I was telling Bart moments ago that once again, the Bluff City delivers. Memphis was great, good trip. Found the Fountain of Youth for a day or two. Now we're back in the saddle today.
So nothing like being there.
Oh, it was fun. I had a great time, and always do.
You seem
just
so
when you think Memphis is going to hell in a handbasket, you go over there and you have fun.
So it's not.
Well, I didn't say that. I'm saying for a couple of days it ain't bad. That's what I'm saying.
And
that's
a good
what
time
I'm saying.
was had by all.
Yeah, I think so.
As we could tell, and you heard me, I had regret on Friday. You were in a hotel room, the Peabody. You had watched the Ducks march. You had experienced Rendezvous. You were talking about the pomp and circumstance around the Liberty Bowl. And I had FOMO.
Yeah.
I did. And you could feel it. And then you turn on the game and you see Hog fans on social media and you see the gatherings and all this poo-foo on the game that had preceded it suddenly had vanished. And here we were in a game. They actually played a real football game that felt like a great TV event. A great might be, depending on who you're talking to, too strong of an adjective. But for Hog fans, I think you tuned in, you watched the game, and you had a good time.
One thing about all these bowl games, and I've watched at least pieces of a good number of them, you've had very competitive games. Now, some of these minor bowls behind the curtain, you may have a portion of your fan base that's not happy about the fact you're not in a better bowl. But for television, if you're from the outside looking in and you watch some of these games, they're entertaining games. I mean, who was it that played 6 overtimes the other night? Toledo? Would you have watched that game on a Saturday?
Toledo Pitt?
Yeah, I mean, would you have sat down and watched that game on a Saturday during October? Of course not. But you'll watch it in a bowl game. It's pretty entertaining.
You know what we learned, at least one thing that we learned, is players don't feel the way fans feel.
No.
They want to play. They want their opportunity, and they want to take advantage of their opportunity. And the number of times that I heard people say during the game, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Who's this Desmond James guy? Who's the guy that just set a record touchdown catch at Arkansas? Who's that guy? 94 yards, program record. I mean, the look, it was fun watching. It's not always fun watching the game with other people for me because I can't hear or I want to be able to pay attention and, you're in conversations. But then there are other times where it's perfect. This was one of those times where the look on other fans' faces was like surprise and happiness because they were seeing somebody do something that they didn't even know existed. They didn't even know this player was around. And it's like, wow, who's that guy? And a smile like, we're not that bad. Where have these guys been all year?
You used that term good television a moment ago. Good television's when you're surprised. When something happens that you didn't anticipate happening. And that's kind of what that game provided. Now, look, nobody's sitting here saying that, this is the college football playoff and it's the king of the bowl games. Nobody's saying that.
I'm just saying 9-3.
But I know you are, and it doesn't seem as far-fetched today, maybe, as it did when you said
right.
it. Just to be blunt.
Yeah.
But look, it was a fun game. The people that went had a good time. I doubt there's going to be one single person that went to the game on Friday night that comes home and says, "Man, I had a really cruddy time. It was terrible. Wish I hadn't gone." I don't know anybody who's going to say that. Everybody that went had fun.
Well, you saw my son. You told me
did.
today. You walked in. He looked like he was just having a big time. He loved being there.
He loved being there.
I mean, it's interesting how we sometimes just we're negative for no reason. We said it on Friday. Like, take it for what it is. It's a game. They're going to play. They're going to be fun to watch with Taylor Green. And Taylor Green you called the Taylor Green thing like the day the bowl game was announced. You said,
you could see it coming a mile away.
Arkansas, and this is when they have 24 players in the portal. You have no idea who's playing in the game. Everybody's walking around saying what's going on over there at the University of Arkansas. What's wrong with the program? Are they going to have enough guys to field a team in the bowl game? And Sam Pittman took a hold of that, and he said this to his team the entire process.
All we have is all we need. and I think our kids bought into that.
Congrats to him. I've heard people say, oh, Pittman can't motivate and all these things, and, he doesn't have the fire and the energy and whatever. That looked like a motivated team to me.
I will tell you, I went over there late Wednesday night, Christmas night. I got over there late in the evening and got up Thursday morning and was around a good number of them for most of the day. By about noon Thursday, there was no doubt in my mind Arkansas was going to win this game. There was no doubt, because I'll tell you what happened. We talked about this with Pittman on the pregame show. It was evident all day long Thursday. I hadn't been around it until then, but I'm sure it was evident even before that. You had a bunch of players on Friday night that were either playing for the first time or starting for the first time or just seeing the field in a meaningful moment for the first time. They had been itching to play from the moment all these guys started portaling out. They knew it was going to be their turn. And I'll tell you what happened as they prepared for the bowl game. Their excitement lifted the veterans. Some of the guys who, look, I'm not naive. Every team that plays in a bowl game, those players are paid to be there. I'm not naive. By the same token, just because you're paid to be somewhere doesn't mean your heart has to be in it. It just means you're getting paid to be there. Getting somebody's heart to be in it's a whole different deal. And we love, as sports fans, when our team loses, we love to say, oh, they didn't have them ready to play. It's part of a coach's job. They didn't have them ready to play. They had a bad mindset. If you're going to criticize a coach for his team having a bad mindset as you perceive it, you got to give him credit when the mindset's right. I know Texas Tech was depleted, but they weren't as depleted as Arkansas was. I also think this game points out very clearly the difference in strength of schedule. We've talked about it a lot as it pertains to the college football playoff. It pertains to these minor bowls too. Let me tell you something. That play Desmond James scored on, beautiful play. That don't happen in the SEC. It just doesn't. And
just watch the DB on that play,
right,
and
exactly.
Go watch a SEC DB.
Yeah, I mean, look at the angles that were taken. I mean, it was as improper as it gets. And you don't find that in a Saturday game week to week in the SEC. So certainly there were differences in this game. But the coaching staff, in my judgment, gets a lot of credit. I'm not just talking about Pittman, although he's the head coach. I'm talking about all of them. They had all those guys ready to play. They had all those guys believing they were win. They won this game before kickoff. There was no doubt in my mind when I went to bed Thursday night what was going to happen Friday night. And here's the deal. The confidence that I saw the team exude, the confidence that I saw from their head coach, the confidence that I saw from their offensive coordinator when he walked down the hall was the fact that we had Taylor Green and they didn't. And that was the difference. It was the difference from the start to the end. And that's why Arkansas won the game.
And winning does a lot of things. For example, it changes the perception of that's an old man on the sideline with a cane to that's a gangster with a cane.
Mac Daddy.
He's just walking in Memphis with a cane.
It was bright too, man. You didn't have to look very hard for it.
You're
just shaking that thing like a professional wrestling manager.
I think there's a lot to unpack from the season. I'm interested to just we've rode the wave. We've been on the roller coaster. We've had the ride all season. We've overreacted to every curve, every high, every low, every change up. And now you're at the end, okay? So now you reflect back on the entire thing, starting with the disaster at Oklahoma State. What ended up happening to Oklahoma State as a team? Trying to wrap your head around how Arkansas lost that game, how they beat Tennessee, how they had barely beaten UAB, all the ups and downs of the season, the disappointment, the excitement. You come out 6-6, and you're still not really quite sure what to think. Because that's like, as Chuck said, kissing your sister. And it's like a tie. And so then you get to the portal season, and it looks like the sky's falling. That tons of reaction. And then here comes players coming to you now out of the portal, which is how it works. And you go play a bowl game. And we're not going to have enough guys to even play. And what's this going to look? Who is Taylon Green? I know, Chuck, you think Taylon Green's great. He's going to have a great game because he can run all over the place and all that. But I hope he didn't have to throw the ball because there's no one to throw the ball to. All that, those are all the conversations we're having. And here we are today. Now you've watched all that play out. And where do you think the program is today? Because at the end of it, that's where we're always going. What is the state of the program? That's what every AD has to decide, whether they're going to keep their coach or not. That's a big part of the criteria or thought process for them on whether this guy should stick around. What is the direction of our program? What is the state of the Arkansas football program? And people take snippets. Like, we're not – if you get in here today and you're listening to the show, and I don't even know why I'm going to qualify this, because this is what will happen with some people. Man, I was listening to that Chuck and Bo show, and they think winning the Liberty Bowl means Arkansas is like a national power now. Like, they're so overreacting to this winning the Liberty Bowl. And that's not what's happening. It's not an overreaction. It's just a reaction to what you saw play out. Like, you were on one side or the other going into that game, or maybe you were in the middle of something. But what have you now arrived at with all the information that you have to this date now, to this point? And I think, obviously, when you win, it's always it helps everything. Winning just helps. It just the feeling, the way you approach things, the way guys move around the offices there, the way the players show up for their workouts, it impacts everything. But is the program in disarray? Is the program falling apart? Is there no hope for the future? Does this look like a team that shouldn't even show up next year? Or does it look like, man, they're not that bad? Or they might surprise some people next year? 877-377-6963. I'm curious to hear from people. Call, text, whatever you want to do here. I mean, we're approaching the end of the year. We're going to be reflecting back on a lot of things. I think reflecting back and evaluating this entire process, this entire season, while also looking ahead to 2025. I can't wait to hear Bart's New Year's resolutions. Edwards, I know they've spent the weekend probably working on those. And I'm sure we'll get into that tomorrow. You know, Bart's probably got his list of favorite moments from 2024.
Oh, he's chronicling him.
I usually,
in his head right now.
Personally, I wait until they come out with it, like on ABC News or something, so I can remember what happened.
That's the way I
can't remember.
People say year in review. I mean, I couldn't do a week in
August
review.
Was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, go all the way back. I'm gonna have to get my calendar out. Check all the Google reminders I have.
Does anybody know
what I did?
Who won the titles in all the sports this year?
No, I couldn't tell you. I know the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
UConn won the NCAA basketball
I do remember that.
Think about it a minute. Yeah.
Who won the World Series in baseball?
The Dodgers.
How about the College World Series?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah, that's right.
Bart.
Oh.
Hey, I'd have gone over.
NBA?
So
Yeah.
I'm glad Bart's over there.
The Celtics won.
Celtics
Yeah.
won. Yeah.
Wow. Man, thank God
NHL?
for you.
NHL?
Yeah. Well, come on, Edward. We're talking about things.
Come on.
Yeah.
Talking about
It's like, who won the rodeo? Who won the PBR?
I think
Edward went off
Florida
the-
was involved
Edward took
in the Stanley
something
Cup
like that.
Finals.
took a
I
dive
don't know
on
that they
you.
won.
He's
Oh, yeah, I
testing Bart.
thought you knew.
No, I'm testing Bart.
You went into the.
I don't know.
who did win the hockey championship? No one knows.
I'm looking at it up.
How ironic is that? That like one of the best hockey teams is in like South Florida. I mean, you wouldn't think of it as being hockey country.
Was it the Panthers?
Was it the Florida Panthers?
I think the Panthers were involed.
Yeah.
In other news,
Or was it?
Scotty Scheffler got arrested.
I
Oh,
saw
no,
it.
the Panthers did win.
There we go.
I was right.
Yeah, there you
good.
go. Yeah, you were right, Bart.
Scheffler got arrested in Louisville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are just some of
Xander
the-
Schauffele won the PGA Championship and the British Open.
Who won the gold medal?
Forgotten that.
Who won the? Did Scheffler win the gold medal?
Who won the
Yeah, I
the
think he
Olympics?
did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, he did, and he won the Masters as well.
Yeah.
And then Bryson won the U.S. Open.
Man, it must be great to be young and have a clear mind.
It takes a while to
You just
think
got to
through
slow
all the
down and get in a
Olympics.
quiet room, Chuck, and then it all comes back
I guess
to you.
that's it. I need
Yeah, we
prompts.
did- we
I
did
need
have the
prompts,
Olympics.
Well,
you
you
know?
just need more. You need more Chuck time.
I guess
You
that's
just,
right.
You're running all over the place.
I guess
you're
that's
doing
right.
shows.
I need more time to reflect.
I went to the Catfish Hole for dinner last night. I was thinking about you.
It's a wonder we
It's like,
weren't there
wow.
doing a show.
And Chuck spent like 12 nights here.
I did. Well,
And then
actually, I
football
think 13.
season's over. Yeah.
We do 13 in football and 12 in basketball, I think.
So it's December 30th, and the Hogs won the Liberty Bowl, and we're talking about the Hogs play basketball tonight.
They do. Oakland
So
University.
Chuck will be calling that game. There's no rest for the weary. 877-377-6963. It's a reaction, make a point Monday. We're glad you're here. The Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes. At Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer. And it's a great time to be a Razorback.
Embrace the home!
Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Suey, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now, you know.
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Does the show feel like it's always a friendly environment? I was going to say, just
I
like
guess
the
it
Chuck-
depends on which
It's
side of the fence you're
It's
on.
friendly. Sometimes you get yelled at, but I mean, it's still friendly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you hundreds, likely even thousands, but only through New Year's Day. This deal does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Waldron Wave Rural Connects. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Since 1992, the Inn at the Mill has welcomed guests to experience the most unique place to stay when visiting Northwest Arkansas. Centrally located at the Johnson exit off I-49, the Inn at the Mill has established a rich tradition of comfort, convenience, and value. Whether it's the big game, business travel, a trip to Crystal Bridges, or a weekend getaway that brings you to Northwest Arkansas, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious room with ample space to spread out. And when I'm there on business, I appreciate the fast, free internet to keep me connected to work and the laid-back European-style breakfast to start the day. Experience unique and different at the Inn at the Mill, just off I-49 at the Johnson exit. Call 479-443-1800 to make your reservation. That's 479-443-1800. 443-1800 or visit inatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
So if I get offended right there, do you get offended at me for being offended?
No, I don't get offended at you for being offended, but I do think there's an issue with you.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Got the playoffs coming this weekend. I want to say weekend, this week. Feels like we got 2 weeks in a row here where we have a weekend in the middle of the week.
We got a college football playoff game tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Penn State and Boise State.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. You going?
No, I'll be at the Rose Bowl.
Oh, well. Never mind about that.
I mean, I go.
You're going to the granddaddy of them
go
all.
where they send me.
Well.
Actually, I haven't been to the Rose Bowl, or at least a game.
Very
in the
few
Rose Bowl,
have.
so I think
very few have.
I'll write that down.
So
I'll journal about it.
That's great. When are you leaving?
Well, Chuck, I'm going to leave Tuesday. It's going to be one of these great glamorous trips where I'm
Leaving
gone
New
for
Year's
36 hours.
Wow.
Leave at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday and get back at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday.
That's great.
Yeah, fantastic. It's going to be me and like some Residence Inn or something, bringing
Pacific
in the
time
new year.
zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be midnight here. I'll be going to bed at 10. I'll blow a kazoo.
You'll get
and
up
then
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Scream a little bit and watch the ball drop, and then I'll go to bed and go work the Rose Bowl. And then what?
Scream a little bit.
I don't know. What do people do?
So the ball's going to drop at midnight in New York, and you'll be, 9 o'clock?
Yeah,
Out there
yeah.
in L.A.?
Yeah.
Still got 3 hours of 2024 left.
Yeah, then
Better make it count.
Yeah.
Probably wait till
You got 2
midnight
hours
Central
of free time, man. You got 2 hours.
Yeah, get to bed early, and then get after it on New Year's Day. So we hit the playoffs.
Now, what exactly does get after it mean?
It means get to the game about 6 hours early, and everybody make sure within an hour. Take about an hour. Everybody have their stuff set up, and everything will be good. Hopefully, with no fires. There's always some fire drill. We don't have this. We don't have that. And then I'll walk laps around the stadium for probably 3 hours.
Sweet.
Until there's some other problem to fix. And then hopefully none of that happens, and then the game will start.
Well, you have
and
time
I'll be
to
exhausted.
reflect, where you can walk around the Rose Bowl and reflect.
Right. Just breathe it
all
in.
the great moments.
Breathe in.
Think about all the New Year's days you sat as a child and watched the granddaddy of them all.
Watch
in the
where
afternoon.
Jalen Milroe got tackled trying to get into the end zone last year against Michigan.
Well, you think about all those great.
lose it
Back when college football was great. Back when you had the Pac-8 going against the Big Ten. In the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk around.
Think about those games.
I'm going to walk around
Anthony
and just
Davis.
smell the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Just going to breathe in the Big Ten. Then
Breathe
think
in
of Bart.
I don't
all
know
that
that's
industrial
healthy.
waste.
Think of
you
Bart.
know,
I don't know that that's healthy.
Yeah, just go think of Bart.
Have you ever
and
been
his
to Gary,
love for
Indiana?
The Big Ten.
Yeah.
Yeah, then just go do that.
Think about how cold it is there.
Who else? I should know this. Who else is playing on the 31st?
It's just Boise State, Penn
That's
State.
it. Just
Yeah,
that
and
game.
then all the other games.
Penn
Yeah,
State
you're
a
saying.
12-point favorite in that game.
Is that right?
Over Boise State.
Wow. You think
and
they'll
then-
cover? Who you going with, Bart? Early pick. Early pick.
I would go with Penn State.
You think they
yeah.
cover? I do
Well,
too.
I mean,
I
just,
do too.
Just based on the first round of games, we saw some overmatched teams, and I think that's probably.
You think
what
Boise's
this is.
overmatched?
I do think Boise's
Does Texas
overmatched.
run Arizona State?
Man, Arizona State can really run the ball. That's the one thing that makes me think that they're going to have a chance to maybe keep that one respectable. I think Texas wins the game, but
Texas blows them out. Arizona State can't run on Texas.
they got a really good back.
This isn't
man.
Texas Tech. This is Texas.
Yeah, I know.
The thing about the playoff that I've been reminded of is football is not basketball.
That's right. Just because you draw up a bracket doesn't mean you have madness.
You for the
That's
same reason we talked about Arkansas doing what they did to Texas Tech. It's similar when you get to the playoff. You suddenly don't become bigger, stronger, faster, and more physical. You can get hot, but that changes when you lose the line of scrimmage quickly. And a team here's the problem with the playoff is a team like Ole Miss or South Carolina or Alabama going to Penn State is not this is one point. They're not going to be intimidated by that environment. I don't even blame SMU. Like, SMU isn't overmatched, I don't think, physically or talent-wise. They might have worn down in the fourth quarter. But if you go play that game maybe in a neutral site and they're not 106,000 against you, they hadn't been in that environment ever. Any of those players, not one time, have played in an environment like that. All the teams I mentioned from the SEC have. So that's one factor. The second factor is if you're a South Carolina and you're big and physical up front on both sides of the ball and you get hot, that's the team that has a chance, for example, to make a run in the playoffs because they're not going to be physically overmatched. They might get beat. But, like, Texas should physically overmatch Arizona State. Penn State should physically overmatch Boise State.
And they will.
That's why the lines are the way they are.
That's why it's not as volatile as maybe we thought. Now, hopefully I'm proven wrong and somebody does something crazy. And you know, like, it is possible for one of those teams to have a bad game and the other team to just play out of their mind and you know, you have a fumble or whatever, trick play. We'll see, but it's not basketball where you can not be as good and match up sometimes with teams that are better than you.
Well, and you have multiple upsets in basketball. On that first Thursday and Friday, there are multiple upsets. If you get through Thursday and there's only one upset, you think, there's only one upset today. Yeah, but in football, you're going to be lucky if you see one big upset, like 12 beating one or that might happen once a decade, maybe, and I may be stretching. It might never happen. But as I've said before, there's never been a year in my entire life when there were 12 teams that legitimately had a shot to win the national championship. Let's get this down to a number of real contenders and throw the pretenders out.
Look who's up early today. Eddie in Clarksville.
I know, he's fired.
Let's take a break and do that next. Eddie's ready to roll. Liberty Bowl,
the whistle,
cigar smoke coming up next. It's 6:29. Good morning.
Well, if I was as good a husband as you were, a man on the radio, my wife would bow to me every day. You guys are top notch.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's in Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
We were doing everything right. We were moving the ball. We had it. We booped. Wide open, miss. Another one here, missed. I was ready to strangle myself. Like, come on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Want to let your voice be heard?
Y'all get me going to work every morning, so I appreciate what you guys do.
Send us a voicemail on the Hit That Line app and speak your truth.
Cheering for the other SEC schools is like cheering for the devil because he's in the Bible.
I mean, I would need a six-pack and a catheter.
Leave us a message for ESPN Arkansas after every Razorback game with our Hit That Line Now app.
You guys are the best. I totally disagree.
Man, hey, them hoes can't do no wrong, fella.
ESPN Arkansas, more than just sports radio.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a
from his own 5, he looks
for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Hey folks, here at Road Chevrolet 2800 Alma Highway with Grant Neal. Grant, let's talk about pre-owned vehicles.
Well, we've worked hard at trying to source great pre-owned vehicles. It's been very hard. You know, the market's strong, but that helps people because we're giving the best value for trade-ins and the highest value for purchasing vehicles. But we work hard and make sure that we pick the right one. So every vehicle on the lot has been meticulously looked over, cared for, and inspected. So we really have the highest quality possible for all of our vehicles that we have in stock. We try to make sure we've got something for everybody. So if you're shopping for something, certified pre-owned, lightly used, very low miles, we've got it. If you need something that's more of a budget-driven vehicle, we try to find vehicles that are high quality while still maintaining the price points at $10,000 and below, $15,000 and below. So really, we've got a vehicle for everybody here at Rose.
And financing's available.
Absolutely. So we work hard to make sure that we can get people approved and get them the best possible financing. A huge selection of banks. We really surprise a lot of people who walk in and say, well, I don't think I can get approved. Well, just give us a shot. We'll do what we can for you.
Come out today, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren.
Hanging with Danny Cobb at American Welding Laboratories. Danny, tell us about the school.
Well, Tommy, we're going on 3 years in operation. We teach all aspects of welding, from stick welding all the way to combination pipe.
So how's the job market these days?
Job market's wide open, whether you want to stay local or hit the road. As a licensed institution, we have access to many grants, including the GI Bill now.
Great. How do we get started?
Come by 4400 South 16th, take a tour, talk to our instructors.
It's American Welding Laboratories. Find out more at theweldinglab.com.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. Mike Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I am so in the holiday spirit after, I don't know what happened to me, Chuck's trip to New York. I've got holiday spirit now all over me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
From his own 5, he looks to throw out of the gun. Slant complete at the 15, out to the 20, to the 30, to the 40. There's the block. There he goes. 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Desmond James, the freshman from Clayton, North Carolina, 94 yards and a touchdown.
Do what? Say who? Chuck Barrett on the call, Razorback Sports Network, and here with us on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Here's the game within the game. Here's the game within the game.
You're trying to figure out who it was for 94 yards?
Z's the spotter, and Phil helps. And, it's basically all hands on deck. We got 2 or 3 sets of binoculars going. The whole time that play's unfolding, I'm like banging Z on the hip, man. Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Yeah, I love it. I could tell that you didn't know who it was.
Zone 5. He looks to throw out of the gun. Now you're going to break it down now. To the 20, to the 30, to the 40. There's the block. There he goes. 40, 30, 20,
Who
10.
Is this? Who is it?
I'm just like banging him on the hip right now.
There it is.
The freshman from
North
North Carolina, 94 yards.
Oh, and not only that, he's a freshman from North Carolina. See, that's pro work right there.
Once he got that block,
nobody would ever known that you didn't know.
Once he got that block, it was over.
Eddie's in Clarksville, here to celebrate, no doubt. Eddie, good morning. It's Chuck and Bo. What's happening?
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like to take an opportunity. Woo! To blow the whistle. Just 14 and a half days ago, I had to snap out of it. I mean, I was down. And, fans were coming up to me I worked with. Snap out of it. And I certainly did. Let me say this. I had to go down memory lane. Players hanging on the wall. Woo! They say seeing is believing. Well, let's see this. First 9 plays, be an NCAA record, 260 yards. Woo! What players is there a team in the country that faces more adversity than the University of Arkansas? But, you know, the Liberty Bowl win, that's not how the story was going to be written. If seeing is believing, listen to those stats. I mean, I see players flying to the football. I see players playing with passion. I see players playing with heart. They wasn't looking around saying who we didn't have. I see coaches with fire. I see Coach Pittman waving his cane on the sideline. That's what I'm talking about. Give me some fire, baby. Let me say this. I see Coach Petrino chewing on green when he took the sack in the end zone. You know what? But the team pulled together, and they pulled out a big win. You know what they did more than anything else? You know, they provided my favorite dessert you've heard me say many times, hog delight, and I got a big bowl of it. And I'll tell you what, I was eating it. And I'll tell you what, give me more. Because this team, more importantly, going into 2025, that gave this fan base hope. And they pulled together, they played as a team, and where there's criticism, there's praise. And I think the coaching staff deserves a lot of praise for pulling the team together. And I think we actually got a team now. The players that left, they wasn't invested in a program. Let me say this. When you got a team that plays with heart, I'll say this. You heard me say it one more time. You can't have heart without passion. And anything you do in life, do it with heart. And you can't have passion without heart. And we had a team playing with heart and passion. No doubt about it. And I'll tell you this. What if Taylor Green improves just 25% of some of his mechanics? If you don't think Bobby Petrino is the best quarterback developer in the country, and you can bet this, Taylor Green's going to be playing in the NFL. And let me say this. He's going to lead our team next year. He's our quarterback. And I'll tell you something else. I see that offensive line protecting the motor of our offense. And who is the motor? It's Taylor Green. Yes, they gave up a sack or two here and there. For the most part, they protected Taylor. And if these offensive linemen we recruited in the portal can protect next year, look out. I'll tell you something else. It's looking pretty good to me right now. I'll take 7 and 6 with the way we played in the Liberty Bowl. I'll tell you what they paved the way for? They paved the way for hope. And I'll leave you with this. Woo! I'm blowing a whistle. Hats off to Coach Pittman. Hats off to these players. A big win. Because if you would have lost this game, you would have lost 2 games going into next year. But that's not how the story was going to be written. These players pulled together. And I tell you what, that might have been the NCAA record. First down plays almost 300 yards. And look at this players that stepped up. Look at Desmond James. Where did he come from? Woo! Let me say this, the potential that young man possesses. I mean, listen to these cats. 3 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. I say that's stepping up, baby. Let me say this. Woo! Stand aboard the whole train. The whistle is starting to get rolling, baby. I feel better than ever going into next year. I'll tell you this. That whistle is blowing. I bet this. I believe this team next year is going to be better than what people expect it to be. I'll tell you what, you don't have to have the best class, but you got to have players that buy in. You got to have players that play with heart. You got to have players that play with passion. And the seeing is believing. That's what you saw in the Liberty Bowl, baby. I'll leave you with this. I said this earlier in the year. Cheap Trick, the flame. Woo! My flame's burning high, baby. I'll tell you what, wherever you go, I'll tell you what, team, this fan base is, woo! The flames is lit up today, baby. And Brian Adams, everything you do, I do for you. Yes, and that's what you done for our program, yourself, and our fan base. Thanks for taking my call. Blow that whistle, baby.
There you go.
Eddie. Wow. Eddie's back.
Where's Eddie calling from?
I don't know.
Is he in the break room?
I don't know.
At the DC? Is he in the garage at his house? Surely he's not in the
I would
kitchen.
imagine he gets sent to a special room for things like
Like a
that.
You think he has his own studio
maybe he
for
does.
radio call-ins?
Eddie's studio.
877-377-6963. Is there anything left to say?
No.
That was it. JR in Shady Grove. By the way, a missed opportunity. Like, anytime we can hear some Bryan Adams, everything I do it for you. It makes my morning. So maybe we can circle back to that. JR in Shady Grove. JR, good morning. Chuck and Bo.
Morning. I got one question for you guys. Do you have time to go get breakfast during that call? Is that something you can achieve?
We all had time to eat breakfast. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
Kolaches are in the break room.
When the money tree loses its leaves in the spring, then that's whenever I'll really see where we're at. Because I think Razorback fans are going to have to just get disciplined enough to know when and when not to get really high on the team. But there was effort on the field, so I applaud what
That's
they
not
did.
going to happen.
So,
No, fans are not going to get disciplined on when to not overreact one way or the other.
well, that's just going to be the name of the game. If you can't hack it, you're going to have to learn to find some other hobby. I mean, I seen where Yurchek's son entered the portal, so I mean, is that true?
How did that? Well, let me ask you a question. What does that mean?
Okay.
Like to you?
What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. I've just grown numb to the portal.
But what I'm saying is why would anybody react to Brooks Yurchek, who's a great young man? My son played with him in high school. Why would anybody react to him leaving? Like in any way, shape, or form? What is the reaction?
Just probably because his dad is the athletic director. I mean, that's the short-sightedness of the portal. You got to look at it with just an even keel.
But what? So what? So nobody reacted
Exactly.
when his
So
other
what?
son left
That's
to
what
go
I'm saying.
coach
So
somewhere
what?
else?
That's right. So what? That's where I'm at. So
Yeah,
what?
I don't think there's going to be an overwhelmingly negative reaction.
No,
to this.
but people do this.
I know,
like
but
the fact that he
I don't
even
think
brought
there's
it
that
up.
many this time.
Okay, I'm just saying
Yeah.
I don't like people don't think. Like just think about it. Like when they just post something on Twitter, Brooks Yurchek is leaving, and then you go read comments and it's like as if it's a negative on the program. If he's not playing, like my first thought when I read it is I wonder if he'll go play for Dow at App State. That was my first thought. Not, wow, holy crap, what's going on? I like just think. Like take a beat and think. Like why is there a reaction to that at all? If I go tell you that any other player on the team who's not playing is leaving, which is also part of this whole portal thing. When we talk about 24 players, when they started leaving at the beginning, people were jumping out of windows. And it's like, how many of those players actually had an impact this year? Oh, maybe like 3 or 4 or 5. So what are you freaking out about? Well, I don't know. I just like to freak out. And then I tell my friends to freak out, and they freak out too. And then we're all freaking out, and we don't know why we're freaking out, but we're freaking out. Welcome to Freak Out, 645, Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The way you guys have fancied up the pig in the blanket, I mean, it's just, kolache now is part of my vocabulary.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell him you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you hundreds, likely even thousands, but only through New Year's Day. This deal does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Ty Richardson here at Wheeler Power Sports as we gear up for Christmas. Simon, you're the guy to come see.
We have new inventory in stock such as the Kawasaki Mule 4010, Kawasaki KX 450 SR, KO S70, Polaris Ranger Crew XP 1000 North Star and Camo, and the Polaris Sportsman 570 Hunting Edition. Give us a call or text us at 479-783-5822.
901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith, Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You know, the family that listens to the Chuck and Bo Show together stays together. That's what you got to remember.
That's great.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, turn that up. Turn that up. This is one of those
little 70s, baby.
Yeah, it's one of those that turn this on at a basketball game when things are just going just right and you get everybody participating.
Some songs just stand the test of time. I was probably 15 years old, literally, when that song was coming out.
Can you
14,
remember
maybe.
standing on a bar, like the bar top?
No,
in
what I
Clarksville
remember.
doing that?
No, what I remember is that was the Pittsburgh Pirates song. You know, when they went to the World Series, you guys don't remember this, but like in '79, they went to
Pirates
the
were
World
good?
Series.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
they were the
kidding.
lumber company back then, and yeah, that was their big theme song. And the Pirates would play, and they'd play "We Are Family" on TV. Just because you guys don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I remember it. I get
Just,
confused.
I mean, the world didn't start in like 1995.
We Are Family and YMCA. Like this, they're like the same songs. Like, I don't know how like from a timing standpoint when they came out, I don't know how similar they are. But I just like those were the two
YMCA
songs.
was after We Are Family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get anything good for Christmas?
Toaster.
Did you buy yourself a toaster?
I did.
Finally.
Yeah.
Where did you finally land a toaster?
No,
How much was it?
I got one. I got one for Christmas.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a very successful Christmas.
Did you get any of these glasses? Did anybody get any of these glasses
What are
for
those?
Christmas? These are blue light glasses. Have you heard of these?
Yeah.
What have you heard about them?
That they don't actually work.
Right. That's the point I would like to make today. Yeah.
I've not heard of
So
them.
these are a thing. People wear these around the office. They're the person that you look at and you go, wow, I wish I was like them. They're forward thinking. They're on top of it. They even have blue light glasses. They're saving their eyes. And so, it's made its way around the world. And then somebody might have gotten some for Christmas, like stocking stuff. And they're not like expensive, but they're blue light glasses.
So what's the purpose?
So I've tried to wear them and I can't. It just annoys me. And the purpose is
What's
to
the
stop
premise of the blue light
that
glasses?
blue light damages your eyes. Like too much screen time, too much staring at the screen.
I think we've crossed that point.
So the American Academy of Ophthalmology says that there's no evidence that the blue light specifically given off by screens will cause eye damage.
Right.
There's no evidence of it actually causing eye damage.
But they became hip and trendy and cool. And
Also,
created an
little known
industry.
fact, we are exposed to blue light all day from the sun.
Correct.
So again,
they do have kind of a tin
if
of
you got
blue to
these
them,
for
don't they?
Christmas,
Yeah.
and you're grateful for them, and today you were going to start using them.
I'm so smart. I've got blue light glasses.
Yeah,
I'm going to
it made
show
me.
those people.
It made me wonder how many other things we're kind of operating in
Several.
that same lane with.
Several.
Like we really think, if I do this, I'm good. If I just wear these blue light, if you've been struggling through every day, just to wear these things,
Just throw them in the trash.
take that off. Take that off. Actually, what'll help you is use the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something at least 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So just take a break from your blue light screen occasionally.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
Some say Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets break all the nugget rules. We say yeah, that's the point. Because crispy tortilla chips make a better breading than bread. And all white meat chicken should be the norm, not that spongy stuff. And above all, nugget sauces should surprise you, like our new Hidden Valley Fire Ranch sauce, which blends two iconic flavors, Taco Bell Fire Sauce and Hidden Valley Ranch. So don't be a nugget of Nelly. Give Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets a try today. At participating stores for limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Skies will remain mostly sunny statewide today with highs around 60 degrees across the north, lower 60s in the south. Overnight, partly cloudy through the evening, becoming mostly cloudy by daybreak, lows in the mid-40s. I'm Jared Cirillo with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you hundreds, likely even thousands, but only through New Year's Day. This deal does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch, because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
If you try to plant your flag on somebody else's logo in the middle of their field, expect a fight. And if your team's the home team and they've just gotten beat, and somebody tries to plant a flag in your logo, if they don't go out there and fight, well, then you don't have a team.
It's similar to the situation where somebody disrespects your wife or girlfriend. What do you do?
Nobody talks to her that way but me.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Did you see the Miami quarterback?
I was just
quit in the middle
watching
of the game.
that.
Quit in the middle of the game.
Halftime.
Cam Ward
opted out.
Yeah. Welcome to the new era of college football.
So he got a record in the first half?
He broke the record, broke Case Keenum's record for most touchdown passes, I guess, in the history of the world. And that was it. He was done. It's like, I got the record. It's out.
Time to have a Pop-Tart.
I'm out. So he sat out the second half. Man, his backup struggled. And if I'm a Miami fan or just a football fan, and I know that this is going to be normalized as we move forward, we're going to become desensitized to things like this. But you think about that. And I know that they weren't in the playoff and all that stuff, but he'd predetermined this. His coach, Mario Cristobal, after the game, I think he knew, but I'm sure the agent had informed him that this was probably going to happen at some point. But, I mean, you just feel like if I was a Miami fan, I would feel cheated.
So did he get Pop-Tarts or no? Like, at halftime, did he go?
What
do you do? What do you do at that point if you're opting out for the second half? Do you just go stand over in
That's
the corner?
what happened. No, he stood on the sidelines and acted like he was pulling for his teammates. And here's the worst part in all this. These coaches.
He acted like he was pulling for his teammates.
Yeah. The worst part in this is coaches like Mario Cristobal after the game have to act like this is okay. Because the next guy, the next great one, the next transfer portal guy out there, if you were to come down hard on this guy, well, that might not sit well with that next guy. So we almost are slaves to this stuff, and we have to normalize it and act like it's routine and nobody should be upset about it. It's not routine. I mean, this is not what sports is about. And, again, if I was a Miami fan, I would feel cheated, and it would have been harder to have been a Miami fan the next day than it was the day before.
To your point on that, I feel like we're in this struggle of doing things because you can or doing things because it's the right thing to do. Doing things because this is the way the system allows it to happen, or doing things because this is the right thing to do. And when I say the right thing to do, that's where it becomes really argumentative, very subjective. And there used to be a time where it was way less subjective on what it felt like was the right thing to do.
What's in it for me is not the sole criteria on whether or not something is a good idea or not. I know to some people this sounds really out of style, but what about all this guy? What about all the teammates? What about the guys that blocked for him all year?
Well, they had fights on the sidelines.
I understand
No,
all
I mean,
that.
the Miami players.
I know they did.
And building on your point, I wonder how much the quarterback being like that impacts the culture of the team or the frustration that's happening
inmates are running
with
the
everybody
asylum.
else.
It's insane.
Like, instead of wanting to push forward and pull together and whatever, one of our leaders is quitting at halftime.
But we've normalized putting yourself above all other things without compromise. We've normalized that. The idea of playing for your teammates, the idea of being of service and doing something for somebody else, that's as out of style as a pair of bell-bottoms, man. I mean, it's just gone. And when you do that, you're considered weak and dumb. There's lots of people. Cam Ward made a smart decision. No, he didn't. Cam Ward revealed the kind of person he is. He's a me-first guy. Now, if you want that guy as the head of your organization, be my guest. I don't want any part of it.
877-377-6963. Before we go to the phones, Bart's in the Situation Room with his hand up on a Zoom. It's like a Zoom. He's got his hand up.
So there's kind of an interesting parallel. I don't know if you guys saw Saquon Barkley top the 2,000-yard mark for the Eagles. He's the 9th player in NFL history to rush for 2,000 yards. The interesting thing about it is there's a game left in the season, and he's only 101 yards away from Eric Dickerson's all-time rushing record. And there's a lot of debate, naturally. Like, is he going to play? The Eagles have locked up their playoff spot. They can't improve it. Their final game means nothing. Is he going to play to try to break the record, or is he not? The thing that I think that's interesting is if he doesn't play, like, nobody's going to accuse him of being a me-first guy, right? They're going to say, well, he did that for the team. They want him to be healthy in the playoffs. I get it's not a one-to-one comparison because
this was the last game.
Right.
This was the last game.
Right. And so
that would be like a guy saying, "Oh, all right, I got the record at halftime of the second round of the playoffs in the NFL. I'm just going to call it a season."
I think what we have in college football now, to your point earlier, Chuck, is a me-first culture, where in pro football it's a team-first culture.
Well, pro football's set up. It's not. Look, this happens more than we realize.
Sure,
the guys not playing happen more than we realize. We don't get it. It's not this public. It's not this obvious. It's not a starting quarterback walking out in the middle of a game. Look, the NFL is a much different scenario because all of the players' union and the way it's all structured, there are checks and balances, and it's way more set up for professionalism. But you still deal with a little bit of that in the NFL. I mean, we got guys holding out in training camp for bigger contracts or missing games. This situation in college is completely different because it's new and we're not set up for it, and the system isn't set up. Like, bowl games, by their very nature, are set up to not be something that a player who has a future is going to participate in. Like, give credit to every player who went out and played for their teammates in a bowl game. Because if you're an agent, you're telling your guys, don't do that if you're going to play at the next level. Now, if you're coming back next year and you're getting paid for it, that's a different scenario. Like, we've started opting out for NFL already, like years ago, of bowl games. I mean, all the way back to Sean Andrews. When Sean Andrews was an offensive lineman,
he was
going to be a first.
vilified for it.
Yeah.
Now it's commonplace.
Now it's exactly right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the phones.
Yeah,
877-377-6963. 7:09 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Gary's in Fort Smith. Gary, December 30th. It's Monday. What's happening?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. The one point I want to make is how important it is for postseason. The coaches get a chance to look at these guys like James that we'd never heard of him before, and the coaching moments that they have, like Edmondson and Branham, how well they played, and they got time to take individual coaching time with those. And I just thought it was just a big boost for a program. And I'll shut up and let y'all comment on that.
No, appreciate that. How does it impact next year? I don't know. But
it doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. And there's something about winning a game, any game. There's something about what's transpired here over the last month that makes me believe that win was maybe more significant than just beating Texas Tech in the Liberty Bowl.
Obviously, we'll find out. But it is so important to win the bowl game in the modern era, I think. Arkansas's bowl record over the years is not very good. Coach Broyles won 4 bowl games. Pittman's won 3. I'm not saying Pittman's in the same category with Broyles. I'm just saying Arkansas's bowl record's not very good. Because if you really look at what happened over the years, every time Arkansas had a great year and they'd go to a good bowl game, They were playing an SEC team, and the SEC team would win. Now Arkansas is playing those teams every week. They play an old Southwest Conference team in the bowl game, and they beat their brains in. And, that's just kind of how the worms turned over the years. But there's value in winning bowl games. Sets the tone for the offseason. I think we're way past the era where bowl games are rewards. I know that your rosters are depleted, and I think even more so that's why it's important to win, because your fans are already in a bad mood. If you're not in the playoff, your fans already think the sky's falling because you got 20 guys in the portal. You got to go win that game. You got to change the narrative. If you don't win that game, that's all anybody talks about all offseason. So it doesn't hurt. Does it mean it's going to be a great year next year? I have no earthly idea, but I know it's a lot better than losing.
Also, you got guys that had opportunities and they stepped up and they took advantage. I mean, how does Desmond James feel from now until August? I don't know what all happened in practice and all that. But when he gets up and he thinks of himself as a football player and he goes into work, he feels better, just like anybody else would. And Taylon Green and the offense and Petrino and all these things. I mean, you're sitting there, I don't care who you played. You're sitting there watching the offense click at a rate that we haven't seen it click really all year.
I thought it was important C.J. Brown had a decent ball game because when we saw him last, he fumbled against Texas. And, those plays sometimes can ruin a kid's career. You never recover from that. I thought it was important for him to come out and catch some passes and have a decent ball game. Branham played well at guard. Edmondson was okay at center. There were points in that ball game where Arkansas opened some really big holes. I thought Petrino called a brilliant game. That touchdown pass to Tyrell Reed down the seam. I mean, those are I just thought everything clicked.
David's in Kansas City. Hey, David, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to know, have you all seen the clip of Fernando Carmona stepping on the ankle of C.J. Baskerville? And poor Carmona's just being vilified on social media where, he should be fined, he should never play another down. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that and if that vilification is justified.
Well, I figured somebody'd bring this up.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the last question. Very little vilification on social media is justified. Social media is a disaster for reasonable takes. Like it is not a place to go for reasonable takes.
Well,
So let's just start vilified on that point, okay?
Yeah.
He's apologized. Let's that's the update on that. Chuck, you just said you must have something to say because you said you figured this was going to come up. You can go or I'll go. I have a couple.
No, go ahead.
Well, my thought is you shouldn't do that. Okay, and it happens again all the time in games, and what goes on in piles that you can't see on camera. You know, if you've played football or haven't played, ask somebody who has, and they'll tell you what goes on. So the idea of somebody stepping on somebody's ankle should ruin somebody for life is absurd. Again, shouldn't have happened. It doesn't look great. Last point. You want that guy on your team. You don't need him acting like that or doing something that's going to penalize your team. But you want a dog mentality at that position on your team. He's got to learn how to handle that. But that's not all negative. There's a negative thing in there. But Bill Laimbeer playing for the Pistons, while we all hated him, you would have loved him to be on your team. Those were my thoughts as I've watched this play out.
I thought it was a nasty play and a bad look. And it's one of those things that you get caught doing in a big moment and it costs your team something. That's a really, really big deal. That's an undisciplined play. And it warranted an apology, and I'm glad that he apologized. Now, having said that, Texas Tech's D-backs were going for knees and ankles all night long. They did it a couple of times to Dasman, and they certainly did it to Tesla. So, unfortunately, plays like that are not uncommon. You said a minute ago, and I was watching an NFL game yesterday, I forget which one, and I mean, there was some dirty stuff going down in the bottom of that pile, trying to get that fumble. There's some body parts that are grabbed down there that you wouldn't want anybody to see, and that's what goes on in football. It's a nasty game. Unfortunately for Fernando, the cameras caught him.
Yeah.
And but it's a bad look. It warranted an apology, and I'm glad he did.
Yeah, it's well said. By the way, I thought of the hit on Taylor Green earlier in the year. I mean, was the same vilification, running around the internet. Guy should never play football again. I mean, that was a terrible hit.
Well,
I mean, you gain some. Look, that's potentially a career ender.
Social media allows you to go from that was a dirty play to he should never be allowed to play football. He should never be allowed to even walk out of his house the rest of his life. Right. I mean, we take everything to the nth degree.
That's exactly right. Yeah. 7:18, we got to hit a break. More of your thoughts coming up on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Chuck and Bo, it's always an honor and pleasure to be with you. You know I don't do a lot of these in the course of my season.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Hi, this is Truett Tollett with WT Equipment. We're here to help you get ready for the year ahead. Take advantage of our small engine shop special. Just $129 to service your mower or handheld equipment, any brand. Don't wait, this offer ends February 28th. While you're here, check out New Holland Tractors, Bobcat equipment, and more. Tough, reliable, and ready to work as hard as you do. Visit any of our locations or online at WTEquip.com. WT Equipment. Equip your future, elevate your potential.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert. And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea. It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays? Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke. Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta WW book.
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I thought more about New Mexico in the last 2 or 3 months than I have in my entire life.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Talen's in the gun. They're going to throw this thing again. Green down the middle, wide open. Reed to the 30, 20, 10, outside at the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Tyrell Reed, 47 yards out of the backfield from his quarterback. Second touchdown of the season for Tyrell Reed.
Chuck Barrett on the call, voice of the Razorbacks, and here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
That was his first catch of the
Attaboy.
year. It was his first catch of the year. Same for Desmond James.
Yeah. Rodney Hill is running like a Heisman candidate.
Hey, there's a little bit of difference in the strength of scheduling there, isn't there?
Listen, people said, where has this been all year? I said, well, why don't you line up Texas Tech equivalent every week, even bring their quarterback and their running back and their wide receiver, bring them all in, have them play the game, and it's the game's played differently, but at Arkansas full strength, Texas Tech at full strength, I like Arkansas's chances to win 75% of those games. And again, we have this difficulty understanding that to win 9 games in this league, you're going to have to win 3, maybe 4 games against teams that are ranked in the top 10 or the top 15. And I mean, we act like that's vanilla ice cream. Like, it's just so common. Like, of course you have vanilla. What other flavors do you have? We act like that's, like, when we talk about the top 25, it's just like you just live there. You expect to play a top 25 team every week because you do. Well, who else is doing that? Who around the country? If you take the other teams outside of this league that are in the top 25, how many of them are playing difficult games every week?
I looked at Colorado
or other ranked teams.
I was watching Colorado play BYU the other night, and they showed Colorado's schedule for the next week. If I was a Razorback fan and I was looking at that schedule for next year, I would call the Chuck and Bo Show, and I would say, we can win every game. We can go 12-0 next year. Look at that schedule. There is such a difference, such a huge difference in schedules.
Bart's in the schedule room.
Yeah, so here is Colorado's schedule next year. Georgia Tech, Delaware, Wyoming, Arizona, Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, and then their road games are at Houston, at Kansas State, at TCU, at Utah, and at West Virginia.
Every SEC fan base, save for maybe 2 or 3, would go into every one of those games expecting to win.
Well, you would certainly trade your schedule for that one. I think we can all agree on that. You would certainly change or trade your schedule for that one. David and Cersei, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, guys. It sure is good to hear you again. Kind of like seeing an old friend you haven't seen for a while.
Well, happy holidays. Week, Merry Christmas.
It was a long week. I actually was cutting up some deer meat one morning, and I think I accidentally hit hit your show on my radio, and I thought, all right, they're back. No, it was a replay because the first caller was me, and obviously I had no idea what I was talking about, so I just turned it back off.
Man, what was that like for you, hearing yourself on the radio? We deal with that all the time. What was that like for you, Dave?
I let it go. I could take it about 5 seconds, and it was gone. Okay, listen, I was not going to say anything about this on my call, but I have to. The young man made a mistake in a football game. He was vilified over the weekend on social media, and I could not take it. I blew up. I blew up at all the self-righteous, holier-than-thou rednecks with all of their comments. I blew up. I told them, listen, let he among you without sin cast the first stone. Just go ahead. Just start throwing now. Listen, I had 2 marriages that didn't seem to last as long as all the opening round FBS playoff games. That was a fiasco. It was a real fiasco. It should not ever happen again, this playoff system. You've got Boise State, a 3 seed, Arizona State, a 4 seed, Ohio State, an 8 seed. You send SMU. NFL, why is it big for NFL teams to have home field advantage? Because Miami might have to go and play on the banks of Lake Erie in a snowstorm. That's why. Look at it, SMU. I felt so sorry for them. Listen, I think, and I'm not going to tell you what I think they ought to do. I want to hear you say how they need to fix it. But it would have been better if they'd have just gone in the final rankings, top 12 teams, and just go 112, 211. It would have been much more interesting. They have got to do something to stop this mess. And it is a mess. I didn't make it through any of the first weekend's games because they were not interesting, and I hope someone is listening. Thanks a lot. Tell me how they can fix it.
Well, I think there's too many teams, and I've said that from the get-go. There's never been a year, and there never will be a year, when 12 teams have a chance to win the national championship. This is not basketball. You can draw up all the brackets you want. It does not equate to March Madness.
I would rather see a crack at the 12-team playoff with teams that are not going to get run off the field, because I do believe there are enough teams this year, like we mentioned them earlier, South Carolina, Alabama, Ole Miss out of the SEC, that they could create more interest in those opening round games than some of the teams that were in there, or maybe Boise and
I don't
Arizona
disagree
State.
with that, but I don't think a 3-loss SEC team is going to win the national championship, and I don't think we ought to kid ourselves into believing it's going to happen. It's not. In my mind, this is just my opinion, a 3-loss team has absolutely zero business being in a college football playoff. If there's a system in place where a 3-loss team can get in, you got too many teams.
Strike that from the record, because Arkansas might go 9-3.
No. Hear me out.
If they do,
hear me out.
They could be in the
playoff.
playoff.
Hear me out on
Put
this.
that on a message board.
Hear me out on this. If you've got a system where a 3-loss team can get in, you've got a bad system. There's absolutely no way a college football playoff should be constructed where a 3-loss team has a chance to get in. No way whatsoever. But the idea that an 11-1 Indiana team has a chance in hell of winning the national championship is absolutely insane. It's never going to happen. Year in and year out, you got 5 or 6 teams in college football that have a legitimate chance to win the national title. Everybody else, they're just filling a spot on television. And that's the truth. Pare this thing down to 8 teams, and I think that's 2 teams too many. But pare this thing down to 8 teams. I initially liked the idea of on-campus sites, but I don't think that's the way it ought to go. I think that's a byproduct of too many teams. Get this thing down to 8 teams, play at neutral sites, decide on the field who the best team is. But let's get away from this idea that David's going to beat Goliath in football the way he does in basketball. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Also, little thing that happened there.
What's that?
You said hear me out.
About 5 times?
So we need, have you, people play this game now. And
Let me talk over you.
No, we should start playing the game where it's hear me out. So I'm going to make a point, and and that's the game. Like having a teenage daughter, they'll get together and they'll have a Hear Me Out cake. And it's pictures of guys they think are good looking. It could be like movie stars or whatever. And the other girls might not think the way this girl thinks. So she's like, hear me out.
I got
It's
you.
unconventional.
It's unconventional. Thank you.
I got you.
So it's like, hear me out. And I was just thinking how much you reminded me of a teenage girl.
Well, thank you. And I can't help but notice that you've spent too much time in rooms with teenage girls to know exactly what's going on in
Well, it's
there.
dad stuff.
I know that.
Bart, you had a point.
Yeah, I would just say, Chuck, in theory, I agree with what you're saying.
But you're wrong.
No, I'm not even going to say you're wrong. What I will say is that
I think it was a good point.
There have been times, and maybe it's just happened once, but I mean, even when there were just two teams in the BCS system, a two-loss LSU team made it to the championship and won.
But that's not three.
Right, but my point is that there are going to be years where that's unavoidable.
The computer put LSU in that year. That's what got them in the BCS thing, were the computers. And no, you're right. There are going to be years.
I mean,
look, with 12 teams, there are going to be years when there's a three-loss team in there.
There might be years where you have 3 or 4 of them in there.
Well, maybe. I'm just saying that with 12 teams, I just think 12 teams is too many.
7:32 on the Chuck and Bo Show. It's a riveting Monday morning. You can get involved, as you should, at 877-377-6963. It's only a day or two this year to make it happen. It's your last chance, really, this year. So get on in.
What do you think Brian and Ozark was doing under the full boat? I have a vision of some peyote, a tailgate, and a Keystone Light.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
This holiday season, give a gift that sparkles brighter than ever. A diamond from Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, premier destination for diamonds in Northwest Arkansas. At Blakeman's, we don't just help you find the perfect diamond, we guide you through the journey, teaching you everything you need to know to make the most meaningful choice. Whether it's for a proposal under the mistletoe, or a holiday anniversary, or simply a way to say I love you. Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
No, that's the greatest joys in life is when you get something awesome you don't expect. That's the greatest joys in life.
Like unplanned pregnancies. Those are joys.
That really wasn't what I was. No, I wasn't really going down that.
That's what I was thinking.
What am I going to do with you? Turn his mic off. Just turn his mic off. Just turn it off. I said turn it off. Who's the boss around here? Turn it off.
Weekdays from 9 to 11, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
Hey folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Crawford County's only new car dealer. I've got Grant Neal, General Manager. Grant, man, what a great selection you guys have here at Road Chevrolet.
It's really awesome. We've been looking at trying to expand our inventory, and right now the selection's the best it's been in a long time. Full line of new light-duty trucks. Got I think over 10 heavy-duty trucks in stock, including the 3500 cabin chassis, as well as the extremely popular custom 2500 that everybody's in love with.
There have been times when some dealerships have charged over MSRP. What about here at Rhodes?
Well, no, I mean, we've never charged over MSRP through all the craziness we never did, and now we're even marking below MSRP.
And if you need financing, you can take care of that too.
Oh, absolutely. Robert Good, our finance director, is an absolute wizard at working the banks. GM Financial's offering rates as low as 1.9% for well-qualified buyers on select new Chevys, and we haven't seen rates that low in a very long time.
Come by today, 2800 Alma Highway, Van Buren Road, Chevrolet.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Brad, Tyson, and their entire team are so thankful this time of year during the holidays. We appreciate all of our customers that enjoy the beverage bar at Boonville, the hot food at Phoenix, and the deli at Jam Mart number 10. We know you're loving the updated pumps at our gas stations, and we're continuing to strive to find new creative ways to improve every single day. If you love Jam Mart, please leave us a 5-star review on Google. Happy holidays from your friends at Jam Mart.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Hey, Ty Richardson here at First Financial Mortgage. My mortgage lender, Ethan Adamson. Ethan, congratulations.
We appreciate the guys who came back to play in the bowl and help us win. We appreciate you.
Five-star service during the entire
No, hell
sets
no.
you apart from everyone else. I think communication, how quickly we work, we get you closed on time or early. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I can assure you, no one organizing this trip thought, let's make sure Chuck's comfortable. I don't think that crossed their minds even for a moment.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Thanks, Chuck.
Did you go?
Yeah, thanks
Did
for
you have
setting
fun?
it up. Yeah, had a blast. And if it hadn't been for you, it wouldn't have been that easy. You gave me all the inside scoop on like what hotel, and I just basically did what the basketball team did, except play at Madison Square
Everything
Garden.
was in walking distance, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
Or
yeah.
at least, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about New York that you forget, I hadn't been there in 4 or 5 years, is how easy it is to use the subway and be anywhere you want to be in 15 to 20 minutes all over Manhattan. With rare exception, it might take you 30 if you're literally going from one end to the other. But you get on Google Maps in your phone, it literally gives you the walking distance to the closest subway, and then how long the subway is, and then walking from there. It gives you your total travel time, just like you would in your car. And you amazing, a city of 8 million people that you can get anywhere you want to go in like 20 minutes or less. I mean, think about that.
As long as you don't drive.
Right. Yes. And you can also walk, but if it's too cold or you don't want to walk that far or whatever. But yeah, the last thing you want to do is be in a cab or an Uber or driving your own vehicle. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys this. I watched a semi-tractor trailer try to negotiate a one-way street at an intersection out of my hotel room window on Christmas Eve for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was mesmerizing. And finally, he gave up and took off and came back. I saw him an hour later unloading. But he was just simply trying to turn left up a one-way street, and he couldn't get the rig all the way around. I mean, it was I'll never forget that. Great story.
Lasting memories of New York
That does
City.
sound unforgettable.
While we're on my great stories, I'll tell you about my dream I had last night.
All right, good.
Later.
Good.
We'll go to Charlie in Camden first. Hey, Charlie, it's the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
Well, darn, Bo, I wanted to hear about your dream.
Okay, I'll tell you. I'll
listen after.
Okay, well, it's up to you. You tell me when you want to hear it.
I'll listen after the fact because, I know you guys got to go to break and stuff. But I want to say this. I was thinking about putting a bow on this season, and, I want to end it, we want to end it positively, which we did. And I was proud of that fact the other day because a lot of teams didn't. And I know a lot of people said, well, after the game, I heard a few people say this, like, you know, Texas Tech had all these people missing and all the distractions. Have they not been paying attention to Arkansas and what's been going on?
We had more missing than they did.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say, Chuck. Like, what are we talking about here? And I'm talking about the people that are like, oh, you beat a 8-4 Texas, you know, the negative people. But look, they won the game, and honestly, they dominated the game for the most part, other than a few portions of it. I was thinking about, you know, all the guys that we have that are coming back. Not just Taylon. Everybody wants to talk about Taylon making that big jump going into year 2 into this offense. I think everyone that is coming back from this year's team should make a huge jump with the Bobby Petrino offense because there is no excuse. I know it's a very difficult playbook. From what Clay has said, it's like 400 pages long. Highly doubt they ran that much of it, but I'm just saying that I know it's very difficult to learn, and I want to see everyone make a jump, not just Taylon. Everyone has to make a huge jump for this thing to be better next year. And I'll tell you what, as far as this offensive line goes, I'll tell you what, that center and that guard played extremely well the other night for two guys that haven't played. You know, really, really good job. And, I know we brought the guy in from UCF, but I want competition across this offensive line if we can find a way to get it. The tackles at times the other day, and I like Carmona, but I don't know how you guys feel about just penciling in starters. But, look, I think this offensive line, if we can continue to beef up in this portal and get some competition, I think that'll be huge for this team. And right now, as far as where we stand, I don't know how the rankings work. They say we're like number 5 in transfer portal rankings, but that doesn't tell you what kind of kid you're getting all the time. But anyways, I'm excited going into next year. So I don't know what the negative people say, but I'm excited, and we're going to see. We'll see what's going to happen. Anyways, Bo, I'm ready to hear that dream. Y'all have a good one.
We'll get to it. Let's the Petrino-Taylon effect. And again, Chuck, you should just take me traveling with you on your speaking circuit, and I'll tell everybody how great you are. Because, again, you pointed this out midway through the season when people were down or whatever and the coach isn't good enough. And you said they need to get to a bowl game so we can have the best chance to get Petrino and Taylon Green back. And we understand they played a Texas Tech team that gave up 35 points or more 8 times this season, okay? So realize the opponent wasn't terribly difficult defensively. But I think you begin to see the season and then the bowl practices, the accumulation of this, you're seeing Taylon Green get more comfortable with the offense. And I don't believe that it's really like a 400-page playbook that's the issue. It's concepts. It's understanding reactions to what the defense is doing and your response to that. And when that slows down for him and he's able to figure that out and make those reads, it's going to change everything. Like eventually, it really is like a switch. Like you're just building up to the switch. And when you get the switch and it clicks for him, the fact that he can run and he can throw and he's comfortable where he's throwing, that's such a game changer. And by the way, this guy, this year, 3,756 yards, 49 yards shy of Ryan Mallett's total offensive yards in a season. He's got the second highest total yards of any quarterback in Arkansas history next to Ryan Mallett, and he's 49 yards short of that. And he's been such a polarizing topic for most of the year. Play somebody else. Because you're watching a guy grow and fail and experience. But now that's behind you. So can we expect a different Taylon Green next season? Like one that doesn't have as many fumbles or turnovers or missed receivers running open down the field?
You give Taylon Green as much time to throw next year as you did Friday night, you'll see similar results. You give him as much time as you did for the bulk of the 12 games, you'll see similar results, and that's good and bad. I'll tell you what caught my ear as Charlie was talking about, and I knew there would be people that, the but crowd after you win a game like this. Texas Tech was 8-4. Let's talk about the differences in schedule. Anytime a team beats someone like Texas Tech, the first thing someone says is, yeah, I know they weren't. Yeah, you almost apologize for winning. Now, on the other hand, you lose to a better team with a worse record from the Southeastern Conference. Nobody gets any credit for that. Nobody comes back and says, well, I know they were 4-5, but, they've played a really tough SEC schedule. You don't get any extra points for that. Texas Tech was 6-3 in conference play. Arkansas was 3-5, and it wasn't even close Friday night. That points out the difference in the league. And so when you talk about what's Taylor Green going to be like next year, if he has the same amount of time to throw, he will eat the SEC alive. If he doesn't, he's going to be running for his life a lot. It's probably going to be a mixture of both. Things are going to be a lot tougher week 1 through 12 next year than they were in the Liberty Bowl. I think everybody's got to understand that. But I also think, again, if you're going to disparage a win because you beat an 8-4 team out of the Big 12, you ought to be willing on the flip side to say, maybe we're better than people think we are, even though our record's only 6-6.
Brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pasco Air, Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, Flight by Yingling, and Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. Back to the phones when we come back at 7:47 on the Chuck and Bo Show.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations.
Hey, Chuck, I made some good calls today.
You sure did. You sure did.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing and Electric.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
And Hog Noxious, our listeners just don't let us down. He said, Chuck, explain it to them. Smash or trash by saying swipe right or left.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you hundreds, likely even thousands, but only through New Year's Day. This deal does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
With the new $7 Lux Cravings box from Taco Bell, luxury is all in the details. A cheesy gordita crunch with the crisp bite of a crunchy taco wrapped in a pillowy flatbread. A beefy 5-layer burrito with seasoned beef stacked on velvety melted cheese. A crunchy taco, chips and nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink. All for just $7. Live Lux for less today at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools.
Pretty exciting. First time that we've done a podcast, and we're going to try to promote Fort Smith Public Schools, what we do with our basketball at all 6 schools, the 4 middle schools and both high schools. And then, of course, we've got several big-time tournaments coming up, one that starts today. And so this is going to be exciting.
Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports. New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com.
Cadence for 3. It's on the way. Yes! Yes!
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Is it poinsettia or poinsettia? Which is it, Bart?
Well, it's poinsettia.
Is it?
Is it foliage?
Is it foliage? Foliage?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, yeah. We're the pronunciation guide you've always been looking for here on the Chuck and Bo Show. Hey, I've told you about the Sweating Edge. Chuck and I both did it. SweatingCosmetic.com. Get your levels tested, not just your testosterone, but get your labs done and figure out supplements or testosterone replacement. Any of these things can quickly make a difference. It has for me. I was probably a 2 energy drink guy a day. I thought it was as healthy as I could get in terms of sugar-free and all that stuff, but no, don't need it anymore. I mean, honestly, couldn't believe it. I'm talking about a career energy drinker here. And Sweating 'em Edge helped me out. SweatingCosmetic.com. Click on the Sweating 'em Edge. Tell them Chuck and Bo sent you. Free evaluation waiting for you. Ryan's in Hot Springs. Ryan, good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. I wanted to agree with everything pretty much the caller said before me. I've been a big proponent of pointing out that, Taylor only had 9 months of off season with Petrino before the season. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Mallett get almost 2 full off seasons before he even had to start?
Had a redshirt year from a transfer.
2008.
Back when you had to sit out a year, yeah.
And
I'm not
like as much growth.
Like they're not the same player, like Mallett had an NFL arm and all that. But go ahead, you got 30 seconds.
Okay, well, I also got something I wanted to go about too. But I'm just trying to point out there's room to grow, and he didn't have that much time with the trainers. I'm trying to point out. Now, the thing I wanted to gloat about, Chuck, last year when you were on with Ty and Tommy, right after Clarksville committed to Missouri, I called in because everybody's freaking out about him going to Missouri, and I called it on air with you. That I said everybody's freaking out about this, and watch him next year transfer to Arkansas. And sure enough, he did.
Prophetic. You and Chuck.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes. At Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey alongside my man, Matt Zimmer. And it's a great time to be a Razorback. Embrace the ho! Whether it's a touchdown, a slam dunk, or a grand slam.
Big Susie, they were doing all the stuff. I went in there to get something to eat, and they're cheering. I'm like, what is going on here?
We're here with the excitement and insight you crave.
Well, you're giving me goosebumps now, you know.
It's the Razorback Daily from the team at Sport and Store.
That might be our best episode ever.
Available wherever you listen to your podcast each morning.
You say, well, that's a tough thing to say. Well, we live in a tough world.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Looking to build your own field of dreams? Trust the experts at Tucker Construction and Remodeling. With over 30 years of experience, we turn blueprints into reality, ensuring top quality craftsmanship in every project. From homes to commercial spaces, our dedicated team makes your vision come to life. Choose Tucker Construction and Remodeling, where your dreams are built to last. Call us today at 650-6453 or visit tuckercr.com. My Tucker Construction, building your field of dreams.
ESPN Arkansas weather. Skies will remain mostly sunny statewide today with highs around 60 degrees across the north, lower 60s in the south. Overnight, partly cloudy through the evening, becoming mostly cloudy by daybreak, lows in the mid-40s. I'm Jared Cirillo with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you hundreds, likely even thousands, but only through New Year's Day. This deal does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we're inside of Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. I'm with my guy, Josefa. Today, it was the French toast turkey melt, but other daily specials every single day.
Yeah, Ty, we just kind of want everybody to know that we're not just sandwiches around here. We have all kinds of different specials. There's always something different right here at Lily's Sandwich Shop.
Award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Don't believe me? Talk to Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. What all y'all service here at Jasco?
Logos, we do food trucks, cars, we do custom banners, signs for big and small businesses, stickers, you name it, we just about do it all right here at Jasco. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
That Bo, what an idiot. I mean, that guy is the dumbest. How did he get a show? Just carrying the water, bootlicker.
Wait, those are things that have all been said about me.
I understand, and me too.
Was that you?
Yeah, it was me. I gotta
You've been
say,
doing it the whole time.
I'm actually a social media master. I just haven't clued anybody in on that.
You are.
I'm the one firing all these things off. No, if I was rich, I would be. I'd just be taking pot shots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
We appreciate the guys who came back to play in the bowl and help us win. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Guys showed up. They played hard.
I said this in the first hour, and I'll say it again. I think this game was won before kickoff. I thought it was Arkansas's mindset. I could tell when I got there. I told the guy Thursday afternoon it's not even going to be close, and I'll tell you why. The young players, the Desmond James, the guys like that, knew this was going to be their first chance to play. They knew it was going to be their first chance to start. When all these people were portaling out and the rest of us were going crazy, those guys were thinking, I get to play. This is my time. This is my moment to shine. And that's what they did. And in the process, they lifted the mental states of all the veterans that Pittman was talking about right there, appreciating them coming back. If you're going to knock a coaching staff, because I think the coaching staff gets a lot of credit for this win. If you're going to knock a coaching staff for not having a team ready to play, which is what we love to say, you got to give them credit for having a team ready to play. These guys were ready to go, and there was not a doubt in my mind when that ball game started Arkansas was going to win, and it was because of the way that they conducted themselves around the hotel Thursday and Wednesday. You could just tell they came to win the game.
Pittman just leaned into it.
All we have is all we need, and I think our kids bought into that.
And they walked it like they walked that line. Ohio State is the most dangerous team in the playoff right now. All this stuff about Ryan Day, all those guys on that team, they can rally together. It makes it easier to just get everybody in the bunker and let's go play. Arkansas showed up like that. They played like they wanted to be there. Was this team, did they show up? Did they look like they were just going through the motions?
No. Hell no.
No, they sure
Well,
didn't.
all the confidence came from the fact that they had Taylon Green and the other guys didn't. And this game was made for Taylon Green. It was set up for Taylon Green. He went out there and performed. His teammates knew he would. And I think that was the reason they were so confident going in.
Game's MVP finished with 341 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 81 yards rushing, and a rushing touchdown. That's a Taylon Green game.
Most highest total offense in a game, I guess, in a bowl game. Longest touchdown pass in school history. I mean, there was a lot of stuff good.
All the jokes are out the window. Andrew Armstrong's not there. Who's he going to throw to?
Look,
all the jokes are out the window.
Nobody's saying that this is the top of the mountain, but the way, I mean, they went over there and they did everything that they had to do to win that game. And they won it decisively, and it was never in doubt.
Well, it was the top of the Liberty Bowl mountain. By the way, how was the stadium with the hole in the side?
Well, it could have been better. Could have been better. And I don't think it's going to be and, you know, I didn't realize this, honestly, until last week.
It didn't look as bad at night.
Yeah, but it's not going to be ready. I mean, it's going to look, I'm sure there will be more done when we play Memphis over there next year, but it's not going to be finished. So
they're going back. That's right.
Yeah, Razorbacks play there again early in the year.
Yeah, 877-377-6963. It's National Bacon Day.
Really?
So that's if today feels right, that's why.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big day.
Yeah. Get you a slab of bacon.
I like bacon now.
I like crispy bacon.
Who does that?
How do you get restaurants? How do you tell them to make the bacon the way that you want the bacon? Because sometimes if you order it crispy, it comes out and it's just like charred.
You say, I want it crispy, not charred. Sometimes when you guys bring it out, it's charred. I don't want it charred.
When it's charred, it's like...
No, hell no.
That's right. Now, I'm just going to tell you, if it's charred, I'm going to send it back.
Yeah. They bring that plate out.
No, hell no.
Chuck sums it up. I like it crispy, not charred.
That's right.
877-377-6963 if you want to get in here.
Hey, 2025 may bring a lot of changes for a lot of people, and your home may be one of them. If you are going to find yourself buying or selling your home or a home during 2025, let me recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, to you. I can tell you through personal experience, these are people that will get you from contract to close. And a big part of it has to do with a line of communication, the fact that they're going to keep you apprised of what's going on at every turn, every twist, everything that happens. You're going to know as the process unfolds. And if you're looking, they're going to help you find your dream home. If you're selling, they're going to help you get the price you want. And in either situation, they will get you to the close. And if you're dealing in a real estate transaction, contract to close is really where the rubber meets the road. So, again, if you find yourself in that situation, I do want to recommend wholeheartedly Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978. They're in Northwest Arkansas, Washington and Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson. They've got a wide selection of homes, and you can check it out at WeickerGriffin.com.
I woke up this morning thinking I was moving.
Really?
Yeah. I had a bizarre dream.
Man, what's the story on this dream?
It's just ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even, I'll just share. You know, I overshare. You know, Chuck, you know more about my life than you've ever wanted to.
That's the truth.
And I wake up this morning. Here's the dream, the basis of the dream I had last night. Somehow I was in Tallahassee interviewing to be the defensive coordinator at Florida State, and I was petrified because obviously that pays a lot of money. I was petrified that they were going to find out that I wasn't a coach. And I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? How am I going to pull this off to just get to the point where they hired me as the defensive coordinator? And I wake up this morning and I'm like, where does that come from?
I don't know, man. I have no earthly idea.
Man.
What would you do?
Do we have a dream expert listening who can weigh in on this?
What would you do? Well, I mean, clearly what it says is I'm a fraud.
Oh,
I'm spending my life
yeah.
trying not to get caught.
Yeah.
Clearly that's what it says.
I wasn't
It's
going to
just
say it.
manifested itself in a very
discover-
obvious fraud-like
They're
way.
going to discover I'm a fraud.
And it's like George O'Leary's resume. Like, I mean,
Oh, man. There's a reference.
I'm like, how did I get to this point? By the way, I never saw Norvell or anybody on the staff.
No.
I was being led around by a former boss who had no ties to Florida State either, and who also didn't know what they were doing at their previous job. But they were somehow leading me around campus.
Well, it sounds
really
like a great dream. You know,
It's just bizarre. Like,
well, I know.
I had nothing great about it other than I woke up in a panic of how I was going to make this work.
I'm glad I don't.
Like, what
remember my
defensive
dream
coordinator is my first hire going to be to actually call the plays and run the defense?
Who am I going to hire as my defensive backs coach? Who's going to call the plays for me? Because I have no earthly idea how to call one.
But I'm going to get paid, dang it.
All right, wrap them up, guys. Wrap it up. Take them to the ground. Here we go.
Can I get you anything? Don is in Garfield. Hey, Don, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Morning, gentlemen. How are you all today?
Doing fine. How are you?
Good. So I know I'm a little bit off track here, but I've been wanting to ask this question, and I figured, Chuck, you probably got the best answer for this with the knowledge you've got.
I don't know.
I've always wanted to know who gets scholarships and how many is available to every school. Is there a number?
You got 85 that you can pass out, and that's the baseline right now. Now it may go up at some point, but right now you got 85.
So my question is this, I guess, then. If these players are starting to make, say, $150,000 to $2 million a year from everything else, why are they giving scholarships, and why are those scholarships not being given out to kids that are maybe 2 and 3 stars that we can recruit, produce into good players, and make them Arkansas Razorbacks or whatever school you're from, and give those kids a chance to come into a school on scholarship that you know as well as I've heard you say this here in the past, that the walk-in is almost obsolete anymore. And if we're going to make this to where these kids basically are employees of the college now, give up your scholarships and give it to kids that are able to pay those, aren't able to come to that school, not able to get scholarships, and they're not a recruitable kid. Maybe we keep a few more Arkansas kids in Arkansas if we can give them a scholarship and that free ride that they maybe would have been a walk-on in the past.
I hear what you're saying.
Kids in here and get those.
I hear what you're saying. I don't.
Make sense?
Well, to a degree, yes. But now let's say you got 10 guys on NIL and they give up their scholarship, and all of a sudden you got 95 guys instead of 85. It doesn't make you a better team.
The scholarship's like baseline. You're getting that. You're not giving up money.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, okay, we're going to pay you extra for giving up your scholarship. But here is a point, and I don't want to go too far into this, but I happened to see this clip this morning from Spencer Danielson, the Boise State coach. And I think Arkansas, you could draw some parallels to Boise in terms of how do you win at a place like Boise State. And again, strength of schedule matters in this conversation, so it's not apples to apples. Boise plays a much less difficult schedule than Arkansas does. But if Arkansas is going to be successful, they're going to have to kill it in the portal. They're going to have to be competitive in NIL, but that's not it. The Arkansas way can still exist. And there's a similarity here as you hear the Boise State coach talk.
If we can continue to recruit the right high school football players and keep them in Boise, we will always be on the cutting edge in the college football landscape. That is an absolute promise. And that's what this place has been built on. Okay, a kid that's maybe a little bit lighter than everybody wants, maybe a step shorter, but he's got the right mentality. Those guys come here, and in 2 years, everyone's like, where'd you get this guy from?
So is that a pipe dream now?
I think in the SEC, yes.
Might be. But if you can find some of the, and that's a little bit of what he's trying to say there, I think. If you can get, a handful of those guys every year, or maybe it's a little bit more. But like Desmond James, who just showed up in this bowl game, was a redshirt freshman. So that's time to develop. And what we all wanted to say when he runs that slant 94 yards for a touchdown is, man, why haven't we seen more of him this year? Maybe he wasn't there yet. Maybe he's still not quite there yet. But do you like that guy's upside? How do you keep him in your system long enough to develop a little bit, along with some of the guys that you're paying in the portal to come here? I mean, this is the balance for any team. Some teams are doing it strictly through the portal. Very little recruiting. They're just buying the best players. If you're not going to be the wealthiest payroll, how do you convince some guys, and I'll just use Desmond James as the example, to be like that? To come develop, hey, your chance is coming. And maybe it is a pipe dream.
Well, I don't think it's a pipe dream, but I think it's the exception rather than the rule in like the SEC and the Big Ten. I think it's a lot easier to have that philosophy of Boise State than it is when you play in a league where you don't get any weeks off. They get a lot of weeks off.
Because those
in the
guys,
Mountain West.
And those guys,
you can develop guys in those games
until they become really good, and then you're going to be battling to keep them with NIL money.
In the SEC, if you try to develop a guy, throw him the ball against Texas, for example, and he's a freshman and he fumbles, I mean, everybody just like kills the kid for a week. You play those kids against, one of those also rans in the Mountain West that week. And
Fresno State.
Yeah, I mean, you can get away with that stuff. You can't get away with that in the SEC. It'll cost you a ball game. And so, no, I don't think it's a fair comparison. I hear what he's saying, and I think it's great. If you're a Boise State fan, take pride in it. It's great you're able to do that. And when you get your clock cleaned tomorrow night, you can take pride in it some more. But I think in our league and I think in the Big Ten, you got to go get guys who can play wherever they are from.
Brought to you in part by Oaklawn. Live racing season is underway. Visit oaklawn.com for more details. Also, they've got shows coming up you might be interested in, including Jay Leno is going to be at Oaklawn Event Center, the Oaklawn Event Center, on March 1st. Sarah Evans is going to be there February 16th. Larry the Cable Guy is going to be there later this month, January 17th. By the way, Trace Atkins coming up Friday, January 3rd. Oaklawn.com. You can check out the tickets. You can check out the resort, all the things you can do there, including live racing. And don't forget about the Oaklawn Sports app. Apple Store, Google Play Store. New customers can earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Arkansas's best sporting app. Bet with the brand you trust. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Back to the phones in a minute. 8:17 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one razorback. Number one.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
The final days of Chevy's Red Tag event have arrived at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Last chance for up to $16,000 total savings on new 2024 Silverados. Final days for up to $11,000 in total savings on new 2024 Suburbans and Tahoes. At Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 1/2/25.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I want to make a couple of points here because I have the floor.
All of it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Todd Richardson here at Wheeler Power Sports as we gear up for Christmas. Simon, you're the guy to come see.
We have new inventory in stock such as the Kawasaki Mule 4010, Kawasaki KX 450SR, KO S70, Polaris Ranger Crew XP 1000 North Star and Camo, and the Polaris Sportsman 570 Hunting Edition. Give us a call or text us at 479-783-5822.
901 North 11th Street in downtown Fort Smith, Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Some say Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets break all the nugget rules. We say, yeah, that's the point.
Because crispy tortilla chips make a better breading than bread. And all white meat chicken should be the norm, not that spongy stuff. And above all, nugget sauces should surprise you, like our new Hidden Valley Fire Ranch sauce, which blends 2 iconic flavors, Taco Bell Fire Sauce and Hidden Valley Ranch. So don't be a nugget of Nelly. Give Taco Bell's new crispy chicken nuggets a try today. At participating stores for limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
State sales tax paid now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, but only through New Year's Day. This will save you hundreds, likely even thousands, but only through New Year's Day. This deal does not apply to previously negotiated deals. State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through New Year's Day at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I think the Edge is missing an opportunity around Christmas. Get a player, put an ornament on your tree. I've got the offensive lineman from Oregon picture on my Christmas tree.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, yeah. Clay's jokes. Here we go. So I had this bizarre dream last night that I somehow was interviewing to be the defensive coordinator at Florida State. Never mind that I have no idea where this comes from. Never mind I'm not a coach. Never mind I never saw Mike Norvell while I was there, any of that. But I was freaked out because I was wondering how I was going to go ahead and sign this large contract and get the money without them finding out that I'm not a coach. And then Clay, as only Clay can, texted in and said, next dream will be about interviewing as a radio talk show host and knowing they may find out you can't do that either.
Wow. Get the zinger in early.
Thanks, Clay.
But
Wow. Why don't you go ahead? What's your New Year's resolution, Clay? To be nice?
Yeah. Lift others up.
Maybe think of others? Oh, my gosh. Ben's in Fayetteville. Ben, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm driving into work. I got a question for you. Great show this morning.
Thank you.
Should we, as the fan base and the people that are being asked to donate to the NIL to bring better players here, should we be made aware of how much money these players are being paid? Because the term kids is kind of out the window now that they're receiving a salary. But, I mean, Taylor Green's rumors, because we can't really get any facts, that he was paid $1 million for this last season. I mean, as a fan base being asked to donate to a black hole where we don't know where the money's going, I would like to know where the money's going or where it's being invested.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before you hang up and listen. I think those who give the money probably get some information that those who don't get.
Well, at a
Does
certain
that make
level.
sense?
At a certain
At
level.
a certain level.
Yeah, at a high-end level.
Yeah. But now, no, that's the one thing in all this that there's a lot of secrecy surrounding this, and it makes people uncomfortable. I get it,
and it's a great question, and we've talked about it quite a bit because it's another example, Ben, of the system not being set up to operate like any other system would in this format. So in the NFL, that's not going to happen, right? You're going to know, and you've got salary caps. You have to know. So when we go to this rev share and schools are actually able to pay players directly, does it then become public information like contracts are in the university system?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know.
But that's not NIL. That's not above and beyond. But this is creating, another thing is, if you're the school, you probably don't want people to know because then what's going to happen is every time the player doesn't do something, he's going to be underperforming and get criticized because he's making too much money to not have been able to do that. Again, out of countless layers of things that don't make sense. And the reason that we didn't do this earlier is because they didn't know how to do it and answer all of the questions that come with this. And so individual states, started passing their own laws, which then allowed their teams to circumvent NCAA rules. And then it opened, as we say, Pandora's box. And then you've got to do it to keep up, and so-and-so's got to do it to keep up. Now everybody's doing it, but we don't really have a system that is appropriate for this kind of thing.
I also think there's the disgust factor in this. I think if everybody knew what every player was making, there would be almost universal disgust. It's obscene. What's going on here? I mean, it is. I can't even come up with a word.
Well, it's like my Florida State dream. That would have been obscene. But if you can get it, you can pull it off.
Oh, I'm not faulting them for doing it. But I think if people knew exactly what was going on, they would be more disgusted than they already are, and they're pretty disgusted already.
By the way, did you play the $1.22 billion lottery?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Well,
Somebody
you can't
in
win if you don't
California-
play.
That's right. But you know what I did do? Is I did that sophomoric exercise of what'd you do? If
Oh,
you won?
yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I played that with some friends. And what would be the first thing you would do? And you know what everyone universally says? Quit my job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe I'm the one guy that would win the lottery and wouldn't want to quit my job.
Oh, I'd keep coming to
I'd
work.
want to keep working with Chuck.
But if it was a bad day, I wouldn't work.
Yeah.
You know, if we had a
Right.
bad show, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. I wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
But I'd keep working.
Yeah.
Sure. I
What would you do?
You got to have something to do.
What would be the first
know?
thing? You know what I would?
You
The
get
first thing
bored.
I would do is hire people. You got to get all the people to run the org because now you have an organization. You got to realize that, and you got to have people run all this stuff.
If I won
Yeah, a franchise.
$1.2 billion, I'd come in here and go, I got some things to say to you people. and that's where we'd start.
Yeah.
And I would dare you to do something about it.
So we have a screen here in the
I noticed
studio.
that.
If
What's
you
going
listen
on
to the
here?
show and don't watch, which you can watch on YouTube or we put a link on social media. And I know many people like to watch Chuck and just to see his mannerisms.
Oh, yeah.
But the screen here, somebody continues to try to connect to the screen. Like they're trying to cast or Bluetooth
Yeah, is that what's
to
going
the
on?
screen, and it's not anybody in our studio.
I think it's somebody like
And I
across
don't know
the
if it's
street or
across.
something
I don't
like
know.
that.
It's
trying to sabotage us.
It's a great question.
Really?
A
Somebody
saboteur.
like
By the
trying to
way-
get in? Somebody trying to get in?
Yeah, it was a
We
saboteur.
have New Year's resolutions we got to bring to the show tomorrow. I don't know if you guys we
I've
got
not
a
made one
pre-show meeting. Chuck has also the second thing we can do is things you're deathly afraid of in 2025. And Chuck is deathly afraid of his identity being stolen.
I am. I'm to the age now where I watch Dateline NBC, and it's like, I'm never using my debit card again.
Or anything else.
I do. I worry
Chuck's-
about it because
Chuck's
I'm
got
stupid.
bundles of
because I'm
cash.
stupid. I'm
He
stupid.
calls American Airlines and he goes, "How do I pay cash?"
That's exactly right. I got this mayonnaise
You are not
jar
getting my
full of money.
information. Those
right.
cookies are all over me.
I am.
It's 8:29, the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite cool that they have put together Bo and Chuck. This is a dream team.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, Northwest Arkansas's go-to destination for gifts that shine.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
We are possibly entering what could be a golden age in Razorback athletics.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Looking for a healthcare provider that truly listens to you? At Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, their team of nurse practitioners offer personalized healthcare with their in-house labs. Get fast results. Elite Wellness goes beyond just treating symptoms. Their holistic approach addresses the root causes of your well-being. Whether it's preventative care, illness, or exploring natural treatments, your health journey begins with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. Call 479-242-9355 for your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert. And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
Folks, it's that time of year again.
Mom, what's he talking about?
Matt, I have no idea.
It's hoop time, and in about a month, it's going to be baseball season.
And the Stadium Shop has everything you need.
Whether it's decorating your fan cave or getting something to wear for the game, we have what you need.
We even have Nike basketball jerseys, sideline apparel, even brands like Cutter and Buck and Champion.
Or how about something from Tommy Bahama or Coliseum for those Hawaiian shirt Sundays?
Guys, Nike baseball team hats and jerseys will get here about the 1st of February. Hey, Matt, do you know what's blue but doesn't weigh very much?
No, what?
Light blue.
Mom, please help.
Matt, there's no cure for a dad joke.
Folks, come by the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum-Walker Stadium, or shop us on them Insta, WW, Bookgram,
Dad, it's
Facebook.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com. That's shoponrazorback.com.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
You're just going to have to go today. You're just going to have to. Today is going to be
what I told myself.
One of those days you're just going to have to go, and you'll be glad you did.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bart, do you fill out all the bowl games? Do you go through all the bowl games and pick your winners before everything starts?
Not anymore. I used to. You don't know so many things when the bowl games first come out, like who's playing, for example, who's going to be on the field for these teams. I used to do it all the time, though. What about you, Chuck?
Well, we got a bowl game today.
We do.
Missouri plays Iowa this afternoon in the Music City Bowl. I'm pulling for Iowa. Missouri's a 3-point favorite. I'm not pulling for the SEC team. I'm pulling for Iowa, and this guy couldn't name you one player on their team. But
they usually have a great punter.
If they get to 10, they usually win.
Yeah,
that's pretty much how it goes. But Missouri is a 3-point favorite this afternoon. We got our first legitimate playoff game of the guys who are left tomorrow night in the Fiesta Bowl. Boise State and Penn State.
Boise State has some good memories from the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, they do. Well, they played a non-vintage Oklahoma team. They won the game, and everyone says, see, little guys can win. Oregon, this is how it shapes up on New Year's Day. Arizona State and Texas play first at noon. Ohio State and Oregon play at 4. Georgia and Notre Dame play at 7:45. And let me present to you right now the new defensive coordinator at Florida State. They got it worked out during the break there, and I don't know if you get to hire your own staff, but we're excited for you, man.
I appreciate it. That was quick and easier than I thought it was going to be, and I fooled them.
Yeah.
I fooled them.
Well, you got a good line. Everybody's got a good line.
I haven't read the fine print in the contract yet.
Yeah, well,
I see the congratulatory text coming in. This is my favorite.
Dear Coach.
Congratulations, Jeff and Fort Smith. Congratulations, Bo, on the defensive coordinator job. You'll always be a hog to me.
Yeah, there you go. That's right.
Once a hog, always a hog.
Are you going to put your tweet out here in a little bit where you thank the fans and
from the Notes app?
To be immediately followed up with anything incorrect I've ever said or done.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's read the comments. I'm here for the comments. 9-3. Just remember, while I'm coaching defense at Florida State, who, by the way, already has a defensive coordinator, just remember I said 9-3. Just remember I said 9-3.
Scott's going to hire you to be a quality control guy. I mean, seriously. You're going to go down and be a quality control guy?
Well, that's the equivalent of what I do now with the Inside the College Football Playoff show. That's what executive producer means.
I got you.
You're a quality control. You're an analyst. You're in the corner. You're over there.
Well, I
Show
was
up for the
just
meetings.
curious how it...
I was just on an absolutely pointless call for 25 minutes.
A lot of calls like that generally are pointless.
I know. I thought it would be. But I'm trying to do my job best I can. Both jobs. Right now I'm doing both jobs. This job, the real job is this job. That, whatever that is over there on Disney Plus, that whole gaggle of...
Do you ever find yourself in a pointless call and you just kind of hit the mute button and all of a sudden, you just finally hit the disconnect button and nobody even notices?
I've done that multiple times, and without fail, a question comes my way.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry you were breaking up on me. I think my internet's freezing up.
That's always the wild card.
I think my internet's freezing up.
Hey, while you were gone, they were trying to sabotage our screen. I heard. It continued.
I heard.
And Edward's getting to the bottom of it.
Hey, bring your New Year's resolutions tomorrow and any dreams you have tonight.
I don't remember my dreams.
Well, generally I don't either. But
well, it sounds like that one was hard.
I thought I was going to be. I thought I was going to be caught as a fraud.
But fortunately, it all worked
That's
out.
my greatest fear, Chuck, in 2025. Yours is having your identity stolen.
Mine's having my identity stolen. I don't really have a New Year's resolution yet, but I'll come up with one for the show tomorrow.
I don't want people to find out I really can't do this.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
There's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft